Good morning. Today I have picked a few recipes from the blog and I'm going to make them. We're going to start with Cuban black beans by Nigella, which is a great recipe. I'm going to make a big batch of beans. Then while they are cooking, I will do some baking, muffins, and then also I might make a dessert. But before all of that, I'm going to start with a loaf of rye bread in my bread maker. This is the way that I cook, or used to. On a Sunday, I would stick Columbo on the TV because he's on Channel 5 USA all afternoon, and I would just cook with Peter Falk as my company, and it was wonderful. And I can't put him on now because it's not Sunday. What I used to do is I would record Columbo for the days where I wanted to do a lot of cooking, but he wasn't on TV. That's how much I loved having his company. So that's what this is going to be today, just almost like a live cooking video. Let's start with the rye loaf. Right, because rye flour is so sticky, you get this different paddle. So using this one today. To do with you. Right, I need 250 grams of rye and 250 grams of wholemeal. Just going to be quiet while I measure this. Oh, do you know what? I've learnt this the hard way. I'm going to scoop the flour in because I always overdo it. That's better. 245. Oh, 250. So I'm aiming for 500 grams flour total, and that usually makes quite a big loaf, but because it's, oh my God, I picked up the white flour. Never mind, we're doing rye and white today. Oh, dull. Right, that's fine. Yeah, that usually makes quite a big loaf, but because it's rye, it's quite a dense, compact bread. So you'll see it won't be like a super tall loaf. 498, 500. Rye and white. Oh, the wholemeal flour is right next to it. Okay, what's next? Two teaspoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of oil. Ooh. This loaf is going to take 3.5 hours in the machine, which I think is quite quick for a bread maker loaf. Right, 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'll leave that out because I need that for my muffins later. 2 teaspoons of sugar. This is extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons. Salt, 2 teaspoons. Where are you? So I'm using kosher salt, so it's not very salty. You over here. Right, water. It says 360 ml, but I've made this loaf a few times now, and that's a bit too much water. It ends up with a wobbly top. So I think 340. Just going to double check. Yes, 340. $3.40. And then 2 teaspoons of yeast. I'm going to try a little bit less, just to see, 339, just to see if I can get more of an even top. 340. The scale can't decide. Right, so 2 teaspoons of yeast. I'm using Allinson's Easy Bake yeast, and I'm going to try 1.5 teaspoons today. Right, into the bread maker. Just gonna check I got all the ingredients. Rye flour, strong white, sugar, oil, salt, water, yeast. Allinson's. Ah, right, yeah, that's the old manual. The rye and white loaf exists in both manuals, and I think they're exactly the same. It's just the program number. I need menu 12. Yeah, menu 12. Okay. Off it goes. What's next? Nigella's Cuban black beans. Nigella's Cuban black beans. You can cook them in a few ways. In the oven for about 3 hours, slow cook 7 to 8 hours. What I'm going to do today is pressure cook the beans in the Instant Pot. Then I'm going to saute the onions, garlic, peppers, add the beans in, and at that point I could just keep the saute on, let it bubble away, and they would be done in about an hour. But it's 11:15 now. I just want them to sort of sit there and cook slowly all day, so then I will switch to the slow cook function. So I love the Instant Pot for that. It's the multi-purpose aspect of it. So where are my beans? These black beans arrived this morning. They're from M&S. I've used Tesco before, and I find that the supermarket beans are really good. If you've got older beans, they can take forever to soften, and sometimes they don't soften. I had some from a different company, not a main supermarket, from Buy Whole Foods online ages ago, and I ended up slow cooking them for 12 hours and they never softened. But generally, supermarket beans are good. I am just, while I prep a few things, going to give them a 10-minute soak and no more than that. So I don't think that's too outlandish. And that's the beautiful thing with an Instant Pot. If you want to cook beans, some people will say you should soak them, but I don't think you have to. You just pressure cook them for a bit longer. Okay. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. So I'm going to cook the entire 500-gram bag of beans. What I want to do is find out how much that gives me at the end. So I'm just going to weigh my pot. Can't see. Right, the Instant Pot weighs 1.125. I'm going to write that down, 1.125. Because I feel as if this bag of beans will yield well over 1 kilo of food when it's done. Oh, come on, beans. For years, I thought that you shouldn't salt beans when you're soaking them, but then I read salt, fat, acid, heat, and yeah, she put paid to that. Right. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm just going to leave them for, I don't know, 10 minutes. Where to put them? Over here. I'm going to boil the kettle as well, because I have found the beans can take forever to come up to pressure in the Instant Pot. So if you start with hot water, that does help. I made a really silly mistake the other day. I cooked beans and only put in 1 cup of water, the minimum amount. And then I realised when the beans were done, you need to cover beans. You can't just put in a small amount of liquid. They need to be covered. So half of them were nicely cooked and the other half was still hard and wrinkly. The dish still turned out absolutely fine. Right, excuse me. So I've reviewed these Arc filters before, and this kettle actually. Did quite a bunch of product reviews on this channel. And yeah, still enjoying them. Couple of onions, couple of peppers, garlic. I think the recipe says 6 cloves, but these are quite big. So I've got 4. I'm one of those people who's a garlic warrior. So I think that the garlic is fine in this dish, even if you use 6 cloves, because it's cooked. It's not super pungent. But yeah, if I eat a lot of garlic, I will follow it up with yogurt, which I read that really helps, or an apple, apparently. It's funny because Cole just does not give a hoot about that kind of thing, and I wish I could be like that. These are my last 2 onions, so I'm really hoping that they're all right, because I don't have any more. Forgot to get them delivered today. I do have a couple of shallots though, if one of these is bad. Oh, what a beautiful day. We've got a bank holiday weekend coming up, and it's absolutely gorgeous outside, like a clear blue sky. All the greens look really bright and vibrantly green. But of course, like the actual bank holiday when everyone's going to be off, it's looking rainy and miserable. That is so typical. I'm not just sticking the waste on the floor. We've got a little food waste bin down there. I'm probably going to have to get a new one because it's just open. We're kind of gross like that. We've just got an open standard council issue bin. And I think for the summer we're going to need to get something with a lid. But then I just imagine, excuse me, all of the food waste sort of fermenting in there. And Cole said to me this morning, you should probably empty that food waste bin. I was like, oh no, it'll be fine. All right, so going to dice the onions. Sometimes I'm really lazy and just slice them, but really you should dice them for this dish. You want them to be quite, not tiny, but just not big slices. Do you think it's been about 10 minutes yet? I think I'm just going to get the beans going. I'll just chop this onion. Oh, I should talk about these beans. They are brilliant. So, the reason why I love them so much is because they're easy to make and they're really, really versatile. So we will usually have them with rice, excuse me, or you can stick them in wraps with cheese, guacamole, yogurt or sour cream. They're good in pita breads. They're good with tortilla chips. They're just really, really versatile and delicious. I was cooking them for about a year before I realised they're vegan, and they freeze well. Just a really good dish to have. Right, I will start the pressure cooking now. Right, colander. Basically, if you're busy, they sit in the fridge and you can do so many things with them. Right, okay. Oh, excuse me. Can you see that? Okay. So. I've got this pressure cooking cookbook by Catherine someone, and she recommends putting a bit of oil in there for starchy food. So, I mean, the oil is right here. I'm not one of those people who puts oil in the water when I cook pasta, but I just think this can't hurt. Yeah, she said it just helps I think it's the steam valve from getting clogged up or something like that. Anyway, right. So I can't really move the camera. I wish I could show you. All it is black beans. Oh, I can show you. Hold on. Black beans in a pot covered with water. Because they haven't been soaked, I'm filling to just under the half fill mark. So I know the water's not boiling anymore, but that warm water will give it a bit of a head start. Can I? There's nothing, it just looks like black oily water at the moment. Right. So, check the sealing ring. I always forget to do this. Cole loves the little tune. All right, pressure cook. I'm going to go with half an hour max, and I'm going to put the venting on pulse and hope it doesn't steam my TV too much. I'm going to move it around. Oh, heavy. Right. Just got water, got the sealing ring. There we go. Right, Nigella says that you don't have to soak these beans. She's right. She doesn't talk about sautéing the onions. So I, years ago, borrowed a slow cooker from a colleague at work, and I just threw in all the ingredients. And then 8 hours later, the onions still had that raw taste, which I really didn't like. I'm not fussy, but I just don't like raw onion and raw garlic. So I would definitely recommend frying off the onions, the garlic, and the peppers a bit. I find the peppers, even with a long slow cook, do hold up quite well. And that's the lovely thing. We'll do it all in the Instant Pot. And I'm being very lazy. I've got a spare pot because this is my second Instant Pot, and I made sure to buy this model with the handles so I could still use my old pot. Once the beans are underway, we're going to make, the recipe is marmalade and chocolate chip muffins, but I don't have marmalade at the moment. I just got some apricot jam, and that's really lovely, so we'll just use that instead. Oh, it's a cumin seed. Oh, I thought it was a bug. It's just a cumin seed. I refilled my cumin seeds earlier and I must have spilled some. Ooh, that's really creepy looking. My friend Jack has rats, and he showed me a photo this week. Rats sometimes lose their teeth, and he just showed me a picture of them in the teeth, and they look like sunflower seeds, and it really grossed me out. We have sunflower seeds every day on our breakfast, and now I just think of rat teeth. His rats are lovely though, they're really sweet. They're called meringue, and the new one is beef Wellington. They call him Welly. Right, okay, so got my onions. Just going to put them on a plate to make room. Ooh. The knife is upside down. I don't know if when you watch cooking videos, someone uses the knife blade side down. I'm like, oh no, stop. I haven't actually checked this recipe, but I'm sure, yeah, it's got 2 peppers, 2 onions, garlic, cumin seeds, bay leaves. Now, I got all of this going the other day and forgot the cumin seeds and the bay leaves. I forgot them until like the last 45 minutes of cooking. And so I threw in some ground cumin and 4 bay leaves because they didn't have very long to do their work. And the dish turned out absolutely fine. It's a really forgiving dish. Ooh, chipotle. That's a key ingredient. So chipotle isn't in Nigella's recipe, but I just think it gives it that really lovely, it gives the dish a really lovely smoky flavour. Oh, I've got liquid smoke too. You don't need that, but I just think as I've got it, I might as well put it in. I can't even remember why I bought the liquid smoke. I think maybe I wanted to have a go at making some vegan bacon or something. Can't remember. Yeah, for the Dishoom bacon naan, which is a wonderful dish. A few years ago, we ordered the kit from Dishoom. I think this was during COVID, and yeah, it was quite fun recreating a Dishoom bacon naan at home. They gave you everything. The dough came a tiny little dough rounds in these little pots. It was really sweet. Right, the Instant Pot. I don't normally stand so close to the Instant Pot when it's doing its thing. Touch wood, I've never had any issues with it, but it is a pressure cooker. It does scare me just a little bit. And now it's beeping, which I think means it's going to release some steam. This is different to my old model. My old model used to beep when it started the pressure cook program. Yeah, I think it's just warning me that there's steam, because it will still take a while to get going. At the moment, it is just warming up. It's not actually cooking yet. I don't know if Instant Pot pressure cookers are an especially big thing in the UK. They definitely are in the US. I know it's an American brand, but I really love it. I started off with a Duo Evo Plus, which I picked that model because it had the handles, and just right off the bat, it was never quite right. It used to show me a C6H error every time I turned the power off. And Instant Pot customer service said, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about this error. And to be honest, they were right. It was okay. But just over the years, it did start to deteriorate. And I think when I wanted to slow cook, I think I just heard the pressure valve. When I wanted to slow cook, it would always be preheating and it would never actually start to slow cook. And I know everybody says, oh, the Instant Pot is not a good slow cooker. And I understand why, because a proper slow cooker should heat from the sides as well as the bottom, and the Instant Pot doesn't do that. But I don't have room for another slow cooker, another gadget. So I just make do. And I actually really like the slow cooker, probably because I don't know any better. The one that I borrowed, the slow cooker that I borrowed from my colleague, that was a really old one and it didn't have like a saute function or anything. So I don't know. Sometimes if Ocado has like a chuck beef on offer or beef shin I got the other day, we'll just slow cook it for 8 hours and that's just, the meat just falls apart. It's just lovely. When I taste the dish, I don't think, oof, this was cooked in an inferior slow cooker. But I know lots of people wouldn't agree with me. Right, I'm just dicing the peppers, 1 centimetre cubes. I can hear Cole moving around upstairs. He's working from home today. Well, every day. He doesn't have an office anymore. He works with Americans. And so their day starts much later than his. So he gets the morning for like quiet work and concentrating. And then in the afternoon, he has lots of meetings. I think he misses working in an office. Just like getting to actually see people and chat to them. I mean, he's got me, but sometimes it's nice. It's nice to see some other faces. Oh, oh, the pepper keeps spraying me in the face. I'm wearing contact lenses, which is why I didn't cry when I cut the onions. You can hear it bubbling away a bit, but yeah, it's taking its time. That's the thing with Instant Pot recipes that I didn't realise. You do have to factor in the time it takes for the pot to come up to pressure, and that can take a while. Right, we got peppers, garlic. Ooh, this is a squeeze. I've got a garlic chopping board. So since we switched to wooden chopping boards over plastic, I love them. I wish they could go in the dishwasher. Off it goes, it started. Right, but they can't, they split. So that's the only thing. But I did find when we cut garlic on the wooden boards, even if we really scrubbed them, sometimes I would then cut an apple on the board and would get that sort of hint of garlic. I don't want that in my apples. So we've got a special garlic board. I don't find that it happens with onions, but yeah, special garlic board. And it's a bit annoying. I'm going to get a tea towel under it because it's one of those ones that wobbles. Right. Whoa! Oh, it's still in its skin. For years, I really hated getting the smell of garlic on my fingers. My brother, if he ever saw me chopping garlic, because I used to do it with a fork. I wonder if I can, I'll show you. I would just use the fork to hold the garlic, and I think it worked quite well. And my brother would be like, Tanya, what are you doing? Like, he really likes the smell of garlic on his hands, but I don't. But anyway, I just thought, you can't do food content and be there with your fork looking like a bit of a weirdo. So anyway, I just suck it up now and don't bother with the fork. But yeah, I don't love that smell on my fingers. So I would use the fork to sort of hold the garlic by the root and then just slice it. Hopefully you can see this. And I would be really careful when I got near the root not to accidentally slice into the fork. Oops, move you. It's not working super well on this garlic clove because I've split it in my attempt to get the skin off. But yeah, this is how I cut garlic for years. And I did get a garlic thing that rocks over it, like a crusher. I've had all sorts over the years, actually. I quite like this one because it's easy to clean up. I've had the ones where you crush, and I found those quite difficult to clean up. Right, let's see if I can do better with this one. You can get quite fine slices. Yeah, this one's going better because I didn't split the clove. So I am going to dice this because otherwise you'll see the slivers of garlic slices all through the black beans, and it's just a bit nicer to dice it for this dish. But honestly, usually I'm really lazy with this sort of cooking. I just slice because I find it quicker. 30 minutes might be a bit overkill for these black beans because they are probably quite fresh. I'm pretty sure my book says, I think it might be 25 if you, I can't remember, I'd have to look it up, but I really don't like it when you open the lid and the beans aren't quite cooked, so you have to wait for the pot to get back up to pressure. You do another 10 minutes, then maybe another 10 minutes. So I have found 30 minutes is all right. I don't know, I'm not fussy about how the beans are cooked. Some people like them to still have a little bit of bite. They're not mushy after 30 minutes, but they are certainly soft. And I much prefer, so say with pasta, I really like al dente pasta to the point where it's just barely cooked. But with beans, I don't like al dente beans. I like them really soft. That will do. My hands are gonna stink. Is there anything else? It's pretty much it. Onions, peppers, garlic. The rest is stuff you just stick straight in. yeah, let's get on with the muffins. Or I might do the dessert that I have planned. Chocolate amaretto tofu. My neighbour sent this recipe to me and it really blew me away. Right, it's a Sainsbury's magazine recipe. 3 main ingredients. I put in a little bit of salt and I think it's just wonderful. I've made tofu desserts before. I made a raspberry one recently and raspberries just weren't strong enough to overcome that tofu taste. And I thought it was fine. Cole is not fussy at all, but he didn't like it. So of the 4 desserts, I ate 3. Now, with this chocolate amaretto dessert, those 2 flavours are strong enough to overcome the soy. And I mean, I like soy. It's not a strong taste. Anyway, it's a phenomenal recipe. Right, let's make it. And I'm going to make it in the Magimix, which I've also reviewed on the channel. Right. Come on, brain. So, it involves silken tofu, an entire bar of chocolate. I've gone with 70%. This is like an M&S cooking chocolate, so it's not super expensive. And then, yeah, amaretto. The original recipe has a bit of maple syrup, but my neighbour said to me it doesn't really need it, and I do agree with her. Now, if you don't like booze in food, I think you could chuck in a handful of frozen raspberries, and that would be lovely. I just feel like with tofu and chocolate, a 3rd flavour would be a good idea. That's just my opinion. It might be that chocolate and tofu is fine. Right, amaretto. Ooh, the bread machine is just sprung to life. Melt the chocolate. I'm gonna melt it in the microwave. It's kneading now. When I first got this machine, the first time it started kneading, I basically sat and watched it like a hawk because I was worried it was going to rock itself off the counter, off the little table it's on. Because somebody, when I bought my old machine, someone posted a photo in the reviews of like a really dented model because theirs had just walked itself off their countertop. That's never happened to me though. But you know how it is when you get something new, you sort of overly worry about it, or you do if you're me anyway. That's an interesting sound. A little squeak. That might be a bit annoying. I'm going to open it and have a look. No, I'm not, because the yeast hasn't gone in yet. Panasonic did design the bread maker really well. It's got a yeast dispenser, which keeps the yeast separate from the salt. It dispenses it at just the right moment. And what they've done, like the yeast, you put the yeast in this little compartment, which has got a spring underneath. So at some point it'll open up and let the yeast in. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, what they've done in the lid is put like a little cylinder of plastic. I'm not describing it well. But basically what I'm trying to say is if I were to open the lid now, they've designed it so the yeast wouldn't just fly everywhere. So if you imagine the yeast is here and I open it, they have managed to sort of contain it, because you think once you put the ingredients in, you don't need to open the bread maker again. But it's surprising how often you do. So I really like that they've thought that through. That's the yeast dispenser. The other thing with this model is that on my old model, the little spring-loaded trapdoor used to often remain open. And if you didn't notice and you put the yeast in next time, it would just fall straight through. With this one, the door always closes itself. So whatever they did there, well done. By the way, I just want to say, I hope it doesn't look like I'm sweating. It's my deodorant. I am not sweating right now, but I've used a glossier deodorant and they're quite sort of tacky, and I noticed it's left marks on my very light coloured grey t-shirt. It is nice deodorant though. Right, okay. That's my clock. Switching from AM to PM. I'm going to get this in the microwave on the lowest power. I think we've got a 750 watt microwave. It's really retro looking. I'll show you. We bought a model called Curve or something just so it would fit in a corner, but actually it's really massive and we would have done just fine with a regular microwave. I'll get some B-roll, but yeah, it's not very high powered, so the lowest it does is 160 watts, so I'm going to melt the chocolate on that now. If you don't have a microwave, you can always do the thing where you put it over a boiling water and the water shouldn't touch the bowl, but microwave is easier. Right, I've just set it for 4 minutes. I can open the lid now. I mean, I could have earlier, but better to wait for the yeast. Just, oh, that squeak has eased up. I just want to peep. Oh no, it's back. Oh, can I get, it's like a nice, quite a nice little round ball of dough. I wasn't expecting that because it's rye. I will try and get some footage. I never film with my phone. I know it sounds really silly, but I don't really know. Well, okay, okay, landscape. Oh, I wasn't recording. Oh, what a wally. Right, go. Oh, it's recording, good. That'll do. Right. Chocolate's melting. Oh, I can't. I'm just going to go for a pee. I'll be right back. I'm all mic'd up. I'll cut this bit. Can I just say, this is the most relaxed I've felt filming since we started the channel. I know it's really boring to have one camera angle, and well, two that are very static, but oh, it's lovely not to have to be moving stuff around all the time and just like getting the B-roll of the final dish. I will do that, of course, but I don't know, I'm not going to be quite as... I'm not going to make as much effort as I usually do. That's the chocolate. Normally it's like, oh, make sure the lighting is right. Get like a pan shot or something. Right. And with this dessert, 4 minutes has left some chunks, but I know if I keep stirring, they're going to melt. Don't need to put it back in the microwave. Stay. Oh, that looks lovely. 100 grams of chocolate is not that much. Just leave that there. Right, so silken tofu. Just going to drain it and then pop it in the mini plus, a little Magimix. This is such a good size for us, for 2 people. And then when I'm done with it, the bowl fits really easily into the dishwasher. I love it. Yeah, carrying it into the dishwasher. Right. Oh, it's all going on with the Instant Pot and the bread. So this is really, really soft tofu. Can you see that? Don't upend the spatula. Stay. It's in liquid. Just going to drain it. In you go. Oh, flop. All we're going to do is mix these ingredients. Right. Can you see the Magimix? I'm running out of room. Right, so the chocolate is all melted. Right, if I put that there you go. Right, okay, hopefully that's focused. Right, go. I think this Magimix is over 12 years old now, and I have replaced the bowl, but the base is still, it's like the original base, and it's still going strong. Right, chattering. Right, pour in the chocolate. Look at that. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, 5 minutes to go with the beans. I have to get every last bit out, and normally I just edit this stuff all out, but not today. Why is that in the way? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put in a teeny bit of salt just to bring out the flavour of the chocolate, and Amaretto. What do I do with you? Oh, I made a video on Nigella's chocolate Amaretto cake. We don't actually drink anymore, but we do have booze in food. And what a treat it is. Yeah, Nigella's cake is my all-time favourite cake. That's an early video, so maybe, I don't know how it holds up, but it's a phenomenal recipe. I will put links to all the recipes in the description. Right, 2 tablespoons. 2 generous tablespoons. I really like to taste the Amaretto. Oh, lost a bit of tofu in the sink. Right. Oops. That's it. Right, I have got these lovely little pots to decant this mousse into. I'll show you in a sec, hold on. So this, I don't know what to call it, chocolate pudding mousse thing, goes 4 ways for us. Now, if I want to film this just as like a little 2 or 3 minute video, and when I do that, I will probably decant it into one of these lovely round-bellied pots, just because we've had a blog for ages and I've been taking photographs of food for a while. Oh, Instant Pot done. I know that this will just look nicer. I will fill the mousse all the way to the top, add some cacao nibs, strawberries or raspberries, have it overflowing and take a nice photo. But really, that's not how we would eat it. That would be like half a bar of chocolate, which is fine. But Col is type 1 diabetic, so we are mindful with what we eat. I can have to talk between spurts. So yeah, really, when I make this for us, it goes into these smaller pots. Love these little weck pots. And yeah, so it's like 1/4 of a bar of chocolate in each. Then you've got the tofu with the protein. I don't know, as desserts go, I think this is really lovely. And we do always top it with cacao nibs because that's nice and easy. Sometimes raspberries, but you can just eat it entirely on its own and it's lovely. Whoops, the cacao nibs do give it a nice kind of texture. Right, okay. Now is probably a good time for me to stop wobble gobbing. And yeah, the only thing is this takes a little while to get every last bit out. Can you see this? I've not really used this pulse pressure before. It's quite good. All right, out you come. Ooh. Now I was a bit lazy about draining the tofu. I didn't let it sort of sit there like I normally do, letting all the liquid come off. But so it will really thicken up in the fridge. This is a dessert where you have to let it chill. I sent it to my vegan friend Sarah and she was like, oh, my husband doesn't love tofu based desserts. And I was like, oh, it's really, really good though. She makes a chocolate mousse using coconut, and the texture, she sent me the recipe. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks like it's got a really amazing texture. This is going to be really interesting to edit the sound for this video. I've only just discovered the concept of LUFs, like how loud stuff is and what YouTube wants. That's been really interesting. And like using a compressor and a gate and a limiter. This is the thing I love about making videos. There's like so much to learn. It's never ending. Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. But then you've got YouTubers like Chadwick, Creative Video Tips, who just are so helpful. Right, it's mostly clean. And also Gerald Undone. So I've just switched my camera between auto and manual and autofocus, and I learnt that from him, this like 1-button technique. And he just this week has released a video saying he's retiring, but thankfully he's still going to be on YouTube. He's my favourite YouTuber. It's all camera chat, which I love. Right, can you see that? I'm just, can you see how lovely does this look? Right, I'll decount it now and switch back to manual focus. Yeah, when I was researching cameras, I watched loads of his videos and Mark Bennett as well. Mark Bennett's Camera Crisis. I just love watching videos about cameras. I don't know why. These pots won't quite fill to the top, but you don't feel like you're being shortchanged. Like this is, I think, quite a nice amount for a little dessert. Oh, it's nearly time for lunch. Oh, maybe that's a good time to have lunch. Switch out the camera batteries. Let these ones charge up and then go from there. Ooh. Just trying to get them even. Because Cole's type 1 diabetic, we calculate carbs for everything. So it's just easier if they're all even. We can calculate the carbs, divide by 4. He takes hopefully the correct amount of insulin. It's not an exact science. So yeah, that's why we weigh and measure everything. These weck jars have little clips to sort of really hold the glass lids on, but I just never use them. They're really fiddly and I always feel like they're going to pop off and take out an eye. Right, into the fridge. Oh, there's no room in our fridge. Where are they going to go? Actually, while I'm here, I'm just going to show you the lunch I made yesterday. This is only a teeny portion of what I made. And again, this recipe's on the blog. Made it in the Instant Pot, slow sauteed and slow cooked it. Slow cooked it over the course of the day. Oh. There we go. Ribollita. So I wanted to use up just all the veg before the fresh groceries came this morning. And this is just one of my all-time favourite recipes. What it is, it's basically vegetables, a really thick kind of stew soup with cannellini beans. It is missing its bread. It gets bread to thicken it. And I've got loads of sourdough ends in the freezer, but I just thought to store it, if I add the bread, it'll increase the volume by a lot. And I've got no room in my fridge at the moment. But yeah, just sauteed the vegetables in the Instant Pot, put in tomatoes, a bit of stock, and then just cavolo nero, black kale, my all-time favourite veg. Just let it cook maybe for about 5 or 6 hours. It's wonderful. Maybe we'll have this for lunch today. Yeah, if I leave that out, I've got room for my puddings. Oh, it's taking its time. Okay. Right, I'll just wait for this to finish, show you the beans, and then, yeah, have some lunch and come back after lunch. I've never really taken note of how long this takes. I just wait until I get a notification on my phone. So this model of Instant Pot has Wi-Fi stuff, notifications, and normally I can't be bothered with any of that. We don't have many Wi-Fi enabled devices, not counting our Hue lights and Hive, but I'm talking like microwaves and washing machines and stuff. But I have found, I didn't buy it for the Wi-Fi, but I have found it's quite useful if I'm upstairs working, just getting a little notification saying that it's done. You can't change the settings from the app. You can only see the progress. But I really do find that useful because you can't always hear the little doo-doo-doo when it's done. So, right, I've got some work messages. I'm just going to check. Oh no, they're not for me. Good. Oh, I'm not at work today. That'd be a bit cheeky, wouldn't it? While we're waiting, I'll see if I can find it. Right. This morning on the sourdough subreddit, someone posted, salted crust, you have to try it. And I thought, that sounds tasty. Nothing too groundbreaking, but last week I made a pair of loaves for a party over a friend's house. They were all bringing tinned fish and salads, and I thought a good loaf or two was the best thing I could contribute. They settled on an olive, parmesan and thyme loaf, and then for the second loaf, they basically moistened their hands with water, patted the dough about half an hour before baking, and added crushed molten salt flakes between their fingers and sprinkled it all over. I think that's a good idea. And one friend said it gave the bread a good defining border. So they're basically saying, hey, I tried this, worked really well. And I'm like, yeah, I'll give that a go. Then someone said, sounds good. I'm also kind of fascinated by this party of people bringing tinned fish to share. Where are you, OP? Original poster. Swansea, South Wales. Most, if not all of my friends, it seems, are well into tinned fish. Not really my cup of tea, but I was pleasantly surprised by what was on offer when I arrived. So last Saturday night was the first annual tinned fish night. They gobbled up my bread. The first loaf vanished in minutes. So I think the only problem with tinned fish night was that there wasn't enough bulk or stodge on offer. Definitely making that loaf again. I love the idea of a bunch of people gathering at a party, each bringing tinned fish, because I love tinned fish and I really wish I was friends with these people, even though I live nowhere near Swansea. God was like, I would not want to go to that party. I think it sounds wonderful. Hold on. I am also so curious. If you feel like it, could you share the fish? This is such a fun and interesting idea. There are all sorts. Mackerel, sardines, squid, prawns, mussels, clams, and of course all of these came in different oils and brines, ink, and different levels of pre-cooking or otherwise. I don't have a picture, unfortunately, but oh, that is my kind of party. Right, come on. Cole, do you want to have lunch? Okie doke. You'll get to watch us discuss lunch. Oh, I'll show you the sourdough ends. So I've got loads of them. The other benefit with not putting the sourdough in is that we can weigh it, and then because that's the carbohydrate of the dish, and Cole will, I mean, he doesn't count for beans and stuff, but then Cole can calculate his insulin. I make loads of sourdough and we tend not to eat the very ends of it, so then I just chop it up, and now I've got this huge chunky bag, but it goes perfectly with ribollita, and ribollita is meant to be thickened with bread. Now I made this for somebody once and they did not like the idea of, they ate it, but the next day they picked the leftover bread out of the soup or stew, and I totally understand it's a texture thing. Some people won't like that sort of stodgy wet bread texture, but the thing with a sourdough or ciabatta, it doesn't go, I understand, but it's really delicious. Anyway, right, I will start doling it out, and yeah, you'll see if my batteries hang on. This is going a lot slower than I thought it would. I thought I'd be well on the way to cooking the beans by now. Still filming. I'm just waiting for the beans to to finish. Right, we're going to have the ribollita and bread. So come say hi.
Where am I saying hi?
This one.
Hello. Stinky chickpeas, is it?
Beans, black beans. Yeah, they do have a bit of a smell. Right, do you want to weigh the bread to have with the ribollita? Just take what you want. Everyone's watching and judging.
This is where I'm overly generous.
We've got enough bread.
Well, this is frozen as well.
Yeah.
Is that going to affect the weight?
There's not much we can do about that.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, okay, I'll have the same. 80 grams. Hold on. The bowls don't weigh the same. Ooh, yeah, take them back. Too much, take it back. Right, yeah. Right, so C and T. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that's about even. Okay, yep, grab that one. Right, I think it's time to turn this one off. Hopefully you can see the beans. They've just been sat around. Can you see the beans? Well, I've been eating lunch. And right, I have got 2 inner pots, like I said earlier. So can't believe how long this has taken. I thought cooking would be well underway by now. So yeah, just goes to show. Right, beans are ready to go. But that's the nice thing about this method of the pressure cooking and then the saute plus optional slow cook. You can basically time it around your life to fit you. Right, so we will let this one heat up. Oh, I've got a light in front of my cupboard. I need to get my oil. Oh, just use this bog standard oil. Right, just wait for it to heat up a bit. Then we will go in with the flavoursome stuff. Then make some muffins. My ribollita was very nice for lunch. That was good with the bread. Right, can I move you? Bear with. I had a little double check about beans and toxins. Good question. Black beans are actually much lower risk than kidney beans in this regard. I asked if I needed to boil the beans before slow cooking. Kidney beans are the ones with dangerously high lectin levels that require a hard 10-minute boil. Eating undercooked kidney beans can cause serious vomiting within hours. Black beans have significantly lower lectin levels. The pre-boil is still a good practice for digestibility and reducing gas, but it's not a safety necessity the way it is with kidney beans. I'm still going to keep the disclaimer on my blog just in case. This is just vegetable oil. I have set the Instant Pot to saute level 3, which I think is quite high. It goes from 1 to 6, and I don't believe I've ever used 6. I usually hover around 2, but even then sometimes veg can burn, but then 1 is too low. I've said this before, they need a 1.5. Right. I know this isn't great footage because you can't see into the pot, but you know what onions frying in a bit of oil, you know what that looks like. Oh, yep. Oh, it's a bit premature. Oh no, I can't get into my dishwasher now. My vanity has made things more difficult. Right, going to let the onions cook for a bit, have a little clear up, and then we'll move on to muffins. The bread has 1 hour and 8 minutes to go. Baking powder, sugar. Ooh. It's supposed to be a marmalade chocolate chip muffin, but Like I said earlier, I made these recently with apricot jam and I put in some lemon zest. I didn't know how that would work. Apricot, lemon, chocolate. Lemon was very subtle. The muffins were gorgeous, so I'm making them again today. Right, that'll do for now. In there. Right. This looks like quite a lot of garlic. It's good, tasty. That is smelling very nice. Oh, I've already got 2 cameras. I feel like I need a third one. I'm just going to turn it down to 2 so it doesn't burn. So cumin seeds, chipotle. Right, just let them toast for a bit, those seeds. Right, chipotle. Oh, I love chipotle paste. Right, so I just bought this one because it was on offer. I don't know how spicy it is. I can't remember. I usually get the M&S one because we shop with Ocado and that's not super spicy. Oh, it smells good. I normally stick half a jar in because I really, really love the flavour. Oh, this one's a bit liquidy on top. Then the jar goes, or used to go back into the fridge, and it's really nice if you mix this with yogurt or mayo to make like a sauce or a dip. But often what would happen is I'd forget about it and find it 3 months later. Maybe you could still use it, but sometimes they say chuck them after 2 weeks. What does this one say? I think it might be 4, but yeah, use within 4 weeks. What I do now is put the leftovers into the freezer, and then next time I'm always making a chili or beans or something, so I just grab it out of the freezer. It doesn't take long to not defrost, but to get to the point where you can get it out of the jar, and that way there's no waste. Right, so oh, this one's a bit more runny than the M&S one. So I would say start with about a tablespoon and then just check the spice level, check how hot you like it. Right. That is just, well, we'll leave it there for now. Right, in with the black beans. Where are the beans? I didn't actually taste these. I'm going to taste a bean. Oh, that's warm. Yeah, they are nice and soft. Right. Black bean in my teeth now. Oh, bay leaves. Mini bay leaves. I'm running out of countertop space. I am just using dried bay leaves. I used to have fresh ones that I kept in the freezer, but I ran out ages ago and just forgot to replace them. I'm just going to give them a bit of a rinse. They always look quite funny, these dried ones. So, right, I've got almost 3. They're quite small. Give them a bit of a rinse. Sometimes they have little specks on them and things, but I just use them, they're fine. Right, so we will need some liquid in there, but so if you're slow cooking, I think you put in about maybe a litre, but these beans have already absorbed all the water they need, and the water we add now will be for the sauce. So I won't put too much in because I like these beans to be quite thick, and when we get the lid on, the Instant Pot glass lid, $12.99, quite reasonable I think for a lid, unlike Le Creuset. But when we get the lid on, you will start to see more sauce. Oh, I just get some footage. Where is my phone? I'm going to go in with some salt. You need a surprising amount of salt, but if you think about it, it was half a kilo of beans. So I'm going to need more than that. Ah, yeah, my liquid smoke. Just because I've got it, I wouldn't normally bother. Pecan. That'll do. So at this point, if you wanted to, you could just turn the saute function up, get it all bubbling. I reckon, I don't know, maybe I haven't done that before, but within half an hour, maybe hour max, you'd have really nice black beans and a thick sauce. But I want to, it's 10 to 2, how? I want to just let them slow cook. So I'm going to cancel, just leave it for a minute. I just have a suspicion with my last Instant Pot that switching between the functions upset it a bit. I just feel like when I switched from saute to slow cook, that's when it started never reaching the correct temperature. I think maybe it was too hot to start with, and then it would get stuck in preheat. So I'm just going to leave it for a minute. Push those bay leaves down. Get a spoon. Then I'll have a little taste to check the spice levels. Probably go in with more chipotle. And then freeze the rest. That's Cole come back from his walk. We found with his blood sugars that if we walk straight after meals, that really sort of blunts the glucose spike. I think that's right, yeah. Anyway, we walk after meals, not a long walk. Right. Okay, let's just go in for a little taste. Just of the sauce. I want a few beans. Oh. Not remotely spicy. Definitely needs more salt. Ooh. Okay. Don't know how I feel about this chipotle paste. Yeah, really runny. Right, it's just going to go straight into the freezer. looking a bit worse for wear because we put it in the dishwasher, but it's a good lid. Try and stop whacking the spoon against the side of the pan. Okay, there we go. Right, I will set slow cook. Slow cook 8. It's not going to be 8. I've chosen high, and you've got the options of low and high. I do not understand the logic behind the slow cooking with this Instant Pot. I emailed Instant Pot because on my Duo Evo Plus, low would get to a certain temperature. I can't remember, let's say 85 degrees C. I'll find out what that is in Fahrenheit. And high would maybe be 10 degrees higher. And that made sense to me. But with this one, low gets to the temperature, let's say 95, in 4 or 5 hours. And then high takes 3 hours. I'm just going to double check that because I wrote about it in my blog. Basically, they both reach the same temperature. One just takes longer to get there. I don't understand that, how that's helpful. Maybe if you do, let me know. Right. So yeah, that's just going to happily cook away. Instant Pot. Just check my teeth. Right, here we go. Low, 4.5 hours to reach 95 degrees C. Oh, I forgot to put the little degree thing. High, 3 hours to reach 95. Right, anyway, muffins. All right.
Make it drinking a bit.
Yeah. I'm just going to check my teeth. Okie dokie, time for muffins. Right. Okay. I am still really loving these If You Care. It's like slightly passive-aggressive name for a muffin cup. If You Care. Unbleached, unchlorinated muffin cases. I get them when they're on offer at Ocado. I think they're quite expensive, full price. Thankfully, I've got no plans today, apart from cooking and just filming it. So this has taken way longer than I thought. Oh, the bread has started to bake. I can smell it. Right, going to refill my ground almonds. Right, let me tell you all the reasons why I love these muffins. First of all, I think I calculated the other day, each muffin contains about 21 grams of carbs. So, like I said earlier, we count carbs for Cole to take insulin. They are not super carby. I'm going to put 100 grams of sugar in. I probably could reduce it to 80 or 90, but I did 100 last time, so I'll do that again. Not a huge amount of sugar across 12 muffins. We've got ground almonds to replace some of the flour, so that takes the carb count down. We're not anti-carb, we love carbs, by the way. But if I were to make this entirely with white flour, I think the carbs would come in quite a bit higher, and Cole would have to take more insulin, so it's just a bit easier for him if they've got a bit of fibre, if they're slightly lower in carbs. And speaking of fibre, I am using golden whole grain flour, marriages, and I think in America you've got King Arthur. These golden whole grains are brilliant because they contain the same amount of fibre as whole wheat flour, but they almost behave like a white flour. They're lighter. So I'm not going to say it's entirely interchangeable with white, but I do often use just the golden in place of white flour, and it's good, great flour. More than good, it's great. Right, anyway, I just need to measure. I'm not a good multitasker. Right. Okay, so I want 150 grams of ground almonds. So I'm just going to use up my old ones first. 150. 69. Can you hear the seagulls? 50. Come on. 140, 150. Right. Oh, I can really smell that bread now. Oh, I hope it turns out well. Right. Ooh. 44 minutes to go. Right, so 150. Now, my recipe says 50 grams self-raising flour, 50 grams wholemeal. So I'm just going in with 100 grams wholemeal, golden wholemeal. Oh, yeah, check my microphone battery levels. Okay. Right, 100 grams. Golden plain, that's fine. 100 grams. Oops. 101. Ooh. So we're going to mix the dry ingredients, put the wet ingredients in a jug, then mix them together. Oh, I'm making a mess. Right, so I'm running out of measurements. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then because I'm not using the self-raising flour, I'm going to put a little bit of bicarbonate of soda in. Both different things. This causes a lot of issues on some recipes. They're both raising agents, but they work at different times. Oh, Cole's in a meeting. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So this is my ½ teaspoon measure because I've used all my measurements. Right, so 1 teaspoon. Oh, it's a bit shy. 1 teaspoon. Oh, I just remembered these aren't the biggest muffins. My eggs are really tiny. So I feel like maybe I should have put in a few more grams of flour, but no, we'll be fine. Right, so I'm going with 1/4 teaspoon of bicarb. Teeny tiny bit of salt. Sugar, 100 grams. This is golden caster sugar, and it tends to, it's not very free-flowing, and it clumps a bit. 100. Yeah, 100. Oh, my recipe says light brown sugar. This is fine. 100. Oh, I need to get some more sugar. I'll leave that out so I don't forget. Okay, I think that is pretty much it for the dried ingredients. Just going to get my lemon zest in there. I wanted to buy microplane graters years ago, but they're quite expensive. And I got a 2-pack of these Jamie Oliver. I know lots of people are mean about Jamie Oliver now, but I got these 2 graters for like the price of one microplane, and they're really good. They're really good. Right, so last time I made these, they didn't taste lemony. It's just nice to get a bit of extra flavour, and this isn't unwaxed lemon. It's not an organic one though. I sometimes buy organic, but not often. Oh, it smells nice. It smells all fresh. Will do. What else have we got? Right. I pop you there. Okay, so I want olive or vegetable oil. Oh, I need to get into my cupboard. It's got flour on it. In one of my recent, my Joe and the Juice beets and berries video, Cole told me, he clicked on in YouTube Studio, there's a little AI thing that analyses your video, and it said something like, try and get your ingredients prepared before you cook, because a lot of people dropped off when I struggled to get the ice cubes into the blender. Yeah, I've not, I've done a little prep today, but not much. Right, we want 75 ml of oil. Oh no, I've got to open it. I'm never very good with these. Yeah, I do like the fact that these have olive oil, just normal, like not extra virgin. Bet you could though, but it'd be fine. Right, 75 ml. So olive oil instead of butter. Gone in a bit more than, yeah, that's fine. Okay, then 125 ml of milk. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, I'll look at the beans. Right, I'll just get some footage of the beans. No, I won't. They look no different to before. It's because they're going to take 3 hours to come up to 95 degrees. What is that about? I'm going to use soy milk. 125 ml. Right, I'm just going to weigh it because I'm curious. See if it's like water, 1 for 1. 118. Right, eggs. Oh, they're so diddy. I do buy organic eggs. That's pretty much the only thing I buy that is organic. They're really tiny this week. Right, I'm going to weigh them. Right, so 2 eggs. $53, so yeah, medium. 54. They are room temp, no, 53. I managed to get them out this morning, so they're room temperature. Come on, don't fight me. Whoop. 104. So that one's 51. Little tiddler. Right. Yeah, I think that's it for the liquid ingredients. I used that for the sugar, didn't I? That's fine. So you're not supposed to overmix muffins because it makes them dense. So what I try to do is mix them really well now. Then when I combine the wet ingredients with the dry, that's when I try to take care not to overmix. You get a nice golden batter out of these and they freeze really well. So there's only 2 of us, but we'll probably eat 2 today. I'll keep 6 out and then maybe 4 in the freezer. Yeah, exactly 4 in the freezer. Or sometimes I do 6 and 6, but they defrost fairly quickly. If you're in a hurry, you can use the microwave. All the muffins, I think I might have 10 or 12, I can't remember, 10 or 12 recipes on the blog, all different muffins, because muffins are my favourite thing to bake, just because you can choose the flour, like whole wheat flour. You can reduce the sugar a bit. You don't need to decorate them really. I'm going to stir a bit of jam or jelly into the top. Jam, I'm British. And they're just really easy to make. And yeah, you can freeze them because we won't get through 12 muffins. I think these are good for 2 days. They're fine on the 3rd day, but not as good as day 1 or 2. Or is it day 0? I don't. Right, okay, so I'm just going to chop some chocolate now. Again, with the dark 70% chocolate. I think I've got about how much chocolate have I got here? About 2/5 of a bar. I want a bit more. My recipe says 50 grams, which feels a bit stingy. Maybe I should update that to 75. Or maybe it's because we've got the jam as well. Maybe I don't need that much. Right. think I want 3 squares from this bar. It's really beautiful outside and I haven't left the house today. Right, let's just have a weigh. How much is that? £63 grams. You can buy chocolate chips, but this is cheaper. So we've got a bank holiday weekend coming up with the rubbish weather. Col and I are considering doing something we did last bank holiday, which was to turn off our router for a few days. Basically have no internet. So I was born in 83, so I basically grew up without a mobile phone, but then I got one, I can't remember, maybe I was 15, don't know about that, maybe 16, I can't remember. But excuse me, it's really, I need to wash my hands, bear with. It's really nice to have known a time without the internet, and I just notice at the moment that I always just default to reaching for my phone. So for example, at the moment I'm watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. We've got like a month free of Prime, and every time we do, a few times a year, I will go back to watching The Boys. But Amazon Prime puts adverts on maybe every 12 to 15 minutes, and not for long, maybe a minute and a half. And my brain is always like, pick up your phone, because it's just adverts about laundry detergent and cleaning products. But what am I going to do with my phone for a minute and a half? And I just want to sort of stop doing that. So having a weekend without the internet, and to be fair, when I go to the gym, there's internet there, so then I see my emails. Absolutely nothing of any importance, but just having a weekend or a few days where you don't pick up your phone, because without the internet, there's just nothing on there. It's really nice. And last time we planned it quite well. We planned a few activities, like we went to Norwich Castle on a really beautiful day like this. So we were up high, got to see all the gorgeous views. We went out for breakfast one day, we went out for lunch, we got Moorish falafel, oh, so good. What else did we do? We watched DVDs. They didn't look too terrible actually. We watched the extended edition of The Lord of the Rings, not all of them, because that was 12 hours. So it was almost, we treated it almost like an 8-part miniseries. I had not seen them since they came out. And I mean, Fellowship of the Rings is 20 years old now, and it was such a treat to revisit them. So I feel like it does need a bit of planning. But yeah, I'm thinking we might do that again this weekend. All right, been yapping. It's time to combine. I am going to turn my oven on. You don't need footage of me. You can imagine what it's like to turn on an oven. What temperature? It is a fan oven, but the fan stopped working, so it's not a fan oven. What temperature? 180. Okay, 180, fine. That will heat up. Let's combine, let's check the ingredients. Yeah, oh, flaked almonds. Oh, I love putting flaked almonds on muffins. They just make the muffins look really pretty. Okay, wooden spoon. What are you doing? 21 minutes until bread. Don't want that. Oh, I want a silicone spatula and I've used them all. Oh, I can't get into my dishwasher. Right, I've got to use this one, which is looking a bit raggedy. Hopefully will not impart microplastics into our muffins. Oh yeah, oh, I forgot I put a few bits of chocolate in there. I thought, what are those little specks? Some bugs got in. Right. I think it was Mira Soda who said, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's got some amazing cookbooks. And she said 12 stirs max with muffins, but I don't know, I do a few more than that. Right. Let's see. That one, can you see? Yeah. 1.5. Doesn't matter, does it? Right. So I can tell it's not loads of batter. So I have to be mindful when I scoop them into the cases. Right. In with the chocolate chunks. So I'll save a few back to go on top. Oh, that's a big one. Actually, I don't want too many on the top because I've got jam and almonds. Okay. So, see, I always go the wrong way. There we go. It's at least quite well combined. There's a few dry bits, but that's all right. Okay. God, is that it? Ooh. Oh, can't get back in there, get back in there. I feel like I'm missing an ingredient. Nope. Right. I don't normally do this over here. I go over there, I've got more room. Right. So I know I don't want to fill this because it's not quite one to... Ooh. Oh, when I've made muffin videos, I think I've made a couple now, this bit always takes ages and I'm like, oh, it's fine, I'll edit it out, but I'm not going to bother today. So you're going to watch a woman very slowly fill a muffin tin. A bit full. Probably borrow from that one later to fill another one. I asked Claude for some ideas for what to call this video, and it came up with something like "A Quiet Day in the Kitchen, Recipes from the Blog," and I thought that was quite nice. Okay, which ones are looking a bit short? You. Right, I want some apricot jam. I really like the St. Dalfour jams. They're just good jams. And the reviews on Ocado really make me laugh, because you've got someone saying, "Oh, what a beautiful jar. This is really thoughtfully designed, works really well." And the next review is someone who's absolutely furious about the jar, the height of the jar, and how awkward it is to fit in the fridge. Right, I'm going to put about this much of a teaspoon on top of each muffin. The nice thing with putting something sweet on top of the muffins, even if it's like a bit of crunchy sugar or just like a swirl of Nutella or something, is that when you bite into the muffin, it makes it seem sweeter than it actually is. So yeah, if you want to cut down on the sugar, put something just a little bit sweet on top. And actually, yeah, just not too much. Whoop. Yeah, you don't need a lot. There we go. That's quite a bit. Too much. %48 on the camera batteries. They've done well today, little troopers. I got 2 Sony ZV-E10 Mark IIs, and I absolutely love them. They don't have active stabilization though, so on the few occasions I've tried to handhold the camera, because I just bought them thinking, well, they're always going to be on tripods, but occasionally I do want to hold them in my hands, and the footage is always like, oh. And I think there is something you can do to correct that, but I don't know what it is. I don't bother. I just try and use a tripod. Maybe I need a gimbal or something. Yeah, I said earlier that Gerald Undone is my favourite YouTuber, and he is, but joint favourite with You Suck at Cooking. Just absolutely delightful. And that dude has not released a video in a while, but he's got an excellent back catalogue, so maybe he's taking a rest. But yeah, absolute joy to watch. Right, a bit more for you. I am not going to bother stirring in. Sometimes I'll stir the jam in with a cocktail stick or a skewer, but I'm not going to bother. Right. A few chocolate chips, I think, and then some flaked almonds, and then they will go in the oven, which has preheated. I just think it's nice if you see a bit of chocolate on top. Ooh. Eight minutes until bread. Yeah, but just to warn you, these rye loaves don't have a spectacular rise, because rye doesn't really. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. They do taste really good. I'm not going to lie, rye is a little bit on the dry side. To me, sometimes it almost feels like a cross between bread and a cracker. It's really nice though, the flavour. Last week we had it with some smoked salmon pate and scrambled eggs. It was not a beautiful looking dish, but it tasted wonderful. But yeah, as long as you have something creamy on it, if you work with the dryness, it's really nice bread. And considering you just pop ingredients into the bread pan, stick it into the bread maker, it's decent. I did look this morning for a rye dough recipe, but the only one I could find in my old manual involves doing something for 12 hours beforehand, and I hadn't thought that far ahead. I'm sure I've made a rye dough before though. I vaguely remember using 100% rye flour, having never used rye. Then when I opened the bread maker, I thought, what has gone wrong with this dough? But rye is just like that. And I think I shaped it and baked it in the oven, and it turned out really well. It was a nice loaf. But yeah, rye is a strange flour. But oh, what a flavour. Okay, what's left? Flaked almonds. Oh, there they are. I said earlier you don't have to decorate muffins, and I guess that's a bit of a lie. I don't love making icing or buttercream or anything like frosting. Nagy on Recipe Tin Eats has a really great cupcake frosting recipe that, like ermine or something, it uses a bit of flour, which sounds strange. You cook, if I remember rightly, you cook the flour and then you mix it with like buttercream, and it's got less sugar and less butter, and it's really sort of light and delicious. But I just cannot be bothered with that. And then also when you've got the frosting on the top, you can't really freeze the muffins easily. With these, I can just chuck them in a sandwich bag and then stick them in the freezer. Don't have to be delicate about it. My freezer is always really packed, and sometimes it gets to the point where you cannot fit anything in. So I think, okay, right, you have to eat some of this stuff. But then I refill the freezer again. I never learn. Oops. Oh, I sincerely hope this is in focus. Ooh. Okay. Really nice. I hope they turn out well. Okay. More for you. Four minutes. Right, going to get these in the oven now. How long for? 18 to 20 minutes, 20 minutes in my oven. Fine. I need to raise the shelf. Bear with. Into the oven. Right, let's check on the beans. Not really looking that different. Right, I'll show you what they look like. So there isn't much by way of sauce there at the moment. That will come later. But yeah, had you kept the saute function on and let them bubble away properly, they would look a bit different now. They would look sort of like the sauce or gravy would look nice and thick. Gravy, is that American? The sauce would look thick. Okay. Yeah, this jam is really nice. I bought this jam a while ago. I think I got the apricot one, or I can't remember. I was really excited. More fruit, less sugars. The bread's done. Anyway, less sugar. It went mouldy in about a month. So yeah, sticking with this one for now. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Rye and white loaf. Ooh. So it's probably my most even top. Now it's not perfectly domed or anything, but I think moving the bread maker away from the window has helped, and reducing the water by 20 ml. This is the first loaf I made straight from the booklet. Had a really wobbly, wavy top. Oh, this is hot. Looks all right. Right, I will just leave that for a minute. How are you doing? It's just in the way. There we go. I'll just let that cool down. Right, hopefully it's going to come out. My sourdough loaves recently have been right little sods and really stuck in there. But if you just leave the bread, if it's stuck, leave it for 5 to 10 minutes and it will eventually come out. Okay, we'll leave it. But, and I said this in a recent video, don't put an implement in there for the love of God, because that's how I scratched my last bread pan. They've got a non-stick coating, and that video went live yesterday, and if I may, this morning in YouTube Studio it basically ranks how well it's done, and it was a 1 out of 10, and it displayed a little firework which was really nice. That confused me when I started making videos. I thought, surely I want a 10 out of 10. But no, 1 out of 10 is nice. Having said that, that sounds so great. 1 out of 10, as best as it could be. It's only had 270 views. And probably 6 of those, or 8 of those will be us. But no, I'll take it. That's really nice. So I feel like once the bread comes out, I'll just wait for the muffins, then we're done. Oh, of course I will show you the beans later on. But that's everything I wanted to do today, and I wasn't expecting to make a loaf, but I thought, oh, it's not difficult, just have it going on in the background. Bread maker content is like, well, there's a lot of it on the channel just because that's the stuff that people have really responded to, which is so nice. Like, I'll sometimes get comments with people saying, oh, it was helpful, and that's a lovely feeling, being helpful to somebody. And I remember saying to my friend, oh, I'm surprised out of all the content, this is the stuff that's done the best, and also some of the reviews, like the product reviews. But my friend said, if you have just bought a new bread maker, it can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. And she said, she watches my videos, so lovely. And she said when I showed the booklet with all the recipes, so she said she found this pretty horrifying. Like, to me, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Look at all these recipes I could make. But yeah, no, she was like, no, I don't think I'll be getting a bread maker. But somebody told me about, where is it? Someone left a comment saying that they made, I think it was this one, sun-dried tomato and parmesan. And that is next on my list because that sounds delicious. I love sun-dried tomatoes. The only thing is it calls for 400 grams of strong white bread flour. So I will definitely put some wholemeal in there and increase the water. But yeah, that's next on my list. And of course, all the rye loaves. So I had a moan about the new booklet. And basically, this is why. Okay. Right. The new booklet contains 2 rye recipes, rye and white. The old one has 5. Both of those recipes, then rye and wholemeal, rye and stout, which I'm excited about, and seeded rye. So I just love this booklet because I've owned it for over 10 years and I flip through it sometimes and I still find recipes that I haven't made, or I think, oh, that sounds really good, that sounds delicious, I have to try that. It's just very inspirational. Whereas they really cut down on the recipes in the new one, and I think they're pushing people towards their website, which I do not like. But yeah, I'm going to make these rye loaves. I don't know if I'll make all of them, but over the coming weeks I'm going to I'm supposed to be working my way through them, and today was rye and wholemeal, and I made another rye and white, but that's fine. Oh yes, used a bit less yeast and that turned out okay, didn't it? Right, can it come out now? Okay. Oh yes, whoops. It was a bit too vigorous. Okay, come on. Woo! So I do think for 500 grams of flour, this is fairly squat. It's going to be hot. Whoa, hot. Right, can I? Really, I feel like it's focusing on the rack. If I put it up to eye level. I think that looks really nice though. That will be tasty. Oh, it's a bit too hot for me to hold it up, but it's pretty even. And I don't know how I feel about the bread maker being over there. We've only just moved it this morning, and now I've got like a corner of dead space, and I've got my bins here. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I do like the evenness of the loaf. When the bread maker was over here, the loaf always sloped. It doesn't matter, but I think I'm making a lot of bread maker content, so it's quite nice when the bread looks as good as it can. Yes, there we go. Right. Oh, actually, yeah, the paddle's not in there. Phew. The other day when I was filming, the paddle got stuck. Okay, so that is a rye and white loaf, 50% rye, 50% white, strong bread flour. That would be nice to have over the weekend. Right, 4 minutes until muffins. Are you wanting to make a drink? No, that's fine. I will just... Oh, you don't have the time?
I have a meeting in 4 minutes, but I need something to eat.
Are you going low?
Yeah.
What do you need? Prunes?
I could do that. Is there any baked goods?
3 minutes, 43 seconds, but they'll be too hot, I think. Have something quickly.
Thank you.
Prunes sounds so unglamorous. Ocado sent us some prunes instead of dried apricots. And we were like, what's this, Ocado? They are delicious. They are so juicy. Is that enough? Cole's having a bit of a hypo. Is that right? Hypo or low blood? Is it a hypo? Yeah. Yeah. Can you wait? He's trying to wash his hands. Go around the other way. Go around the other way. I need to wash my hands too. Go around the other way. Do you need anything else?
Probably.
Do you want a spoon of date puree? Do you want some grapes?
Yeah.
Yes. How many?
Just a couple.
2 grapes.
Yeah, I've just had
3?
I've just had 2 prunes.
Okay,
so
okay. Okay.
Thank you. I'll make our drink in a bit.
Okay. I'm nearly done.
Cheers, buddy.
Grapes make for a really good hypo treatment. And they keep for ages in the fridge. We're trying to, like, anything with sugar would do, Coke, orange juice. We're trying to have slightly healthier things like dried apricots, grapes. And Cole does have dextrose tablets as well. They're really good. But it's just nice to have some stuff with nutrients in. But I think when you're going low, just whatever you can, really. It's a horrible feeling. Well, I don't know, but I see how he suffers. Cole got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was about 35. And it was a huge shock. But one thing, well, we're grateful for lots of things, but the technology is amazing. So he's got a continuous glucose monitor, which is always in his arm. One Libre 3 lasts for about 2 weeks, and it tells him his blood sugar. It's about 10 minutes behind, but it's really helpful. Basically, he doesn't need to prick his fingers and take blood every time he wants to find out his blood sugar levels. The other thing is he's got an insulin pump. The NHS were absolutely amazing. His control has always been quite good, his blood glucose control. So he wasn't eligible for a pump, but because he stopped playing sport because it was too difficult, he loves cricket and football, they did something. He's got a pump. It's life-changing. And the technology there, it talks to his phone, his iPhone, but he's also got an Android, which relays the information. It's a really complicated setup. He's very technical, and so it's no problem for him. It wasn't easy, but the muffin's nearly done. Anyway, he's got amazing technology, which really helps. Right, let's look at these muffins. Oh, I don't have my iPad, can't really see. Okay, right. I've given them 3 more minutes because I didn't want to lose the heat from the oven, but I can tell they're not quite done. It's nice when they have a bit of colour on top. My mum made these muffins ages ago when I posted my video, and she sent me a picture of the palest muffins I've ever seen in my life. She was like, Tanya, what's wrong with these? First of all, she'd put hardly any of the sugar in, and then she just needed to cook them longer. But I don't know if you've ever seen the subreddit, I didn't have eggs. Some basically people who have left really awful comments on food blogs, and they didn't follow the recipe. Like, if you follow the recipe and you get a disaster, fine. I subscribe to this subreddit because we are going to put comments on our blog soon, and I'm just mentally preparing for the comments, and some of them are so mean. Some of them are just funny, but my mum basically didn't have eggs to me. Like, she cut out maybe 80% of the sugar. And the thing is, I only found this out semi-recently. Sugar is considered a wet ingredient. It's really crucial. Like, you can reduce it apparently by a third and the recipe should still be okay. And I certainly always try and keep the sugar down in with the recipes I bake. But yeah, you do still need sugar. All right. I've commandeered the kitchen. It's actually not too messy, all things considered. I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like. I mean, it's been a lot worse when I filmed before. All right, muffins are nearly done. This has been really fun. Normally, I love making videos, but filming can feel a bit frantic. And I just thought today, I'm just going to turn the camera on and just do the sort of cooking that I used to do. I still cook, but nowhere near as often as I did. Carl was like, oh, next year when you're making food videos, we're going to have lots of lovely food. No, I cook way less than I used to. But I used to do this sort of long, slow cooking, a bit of this, a bit of that, and it's been really fun. I want to do more. Muffins are nearly done. Okay. Right. Do not tip them on the floor. I can hear them bubbling. Right, I need to find somewhere to put them. Hold on. I'm going to sit on my hob for 5 minutes. Then I will put them onto this rack. Okay. Woo! I want to start clearing up, but I can't really. Just want to soak this. I give them a 5-minute soak just to get the paddle out, and then it doesn't need much of a clean. Oh, the sink is really full. I will review the bread maker at some point, but I want to really use it before I review it. Excuse me. Right, I think I can squeeze the muffins on. Look, the bread's got this little extra bit. It looks like it will be tasty, but it won't be. I've eaten it before and it's not. It's not quite 5 minutes, but it'll be fine. Make it fit. Move over just a bit. Make way. Oh. There we go. Right. I think these turned out quite nicely. They look bigger than I remember. Some of the chocolate has leaked onto the tin. Can you see that? That is a good place to turn the cameras off. They're really hot, so let them cool down a bit. I will I will set up a camera for this one and show you how that turns out. Thanks for joining me. It's been really fun. And yeah, I will get some B-roll of the food so you can see it. Oh yeah, the mousse as well, mustn't forget that. Right. All right, see you soon. This one's got loads of chocolate inside. Oh, no. They're really lovely. They are light. Pipe down. They are light. They're sweet, but not super sweet. I've just got the jam. I'm just going to pick up the chocolate off the floor. Oh. Oh yeah, they're very good. I'm hungry.
Thank you very much.
Actually, tell me what you think.
Yeah, it's really good.